Hello, my name is Niputu Ayusita Prabajayanti. My student ID number is 60360. So now I will talk and explain about one of the theory of international relation, which is realism. In the beginning, I will explain about what is realism. So realism is one of the dominant theory in international relations. Realism is the name given to a group of theory which is appeared in the United States. It is a theory that has long developed in the field of international relations. It was born at the end of the Second World War and in the beginning of the Cold War. So realism in international relations, also known as political realism, is concerned with the role of states, national interests, and power in political sector. It is focused on fixed patterns of interactions in an international system that has no centralized authority. This kind of international system is what we call as anarchy. So realist has a fundamental assumption if international system is anarchy. Like Thomas Hobbes, one of the famous realism figures, realists believe that anarchy is an inherent unstable condition that requires the states to guarantee their survival through accumulation of power. Realism also tries to understand historical persistence of war. And then now, move to concept and assumptions. So first is statism. In statism, realists believe that state is the main actor of international politics, so the influence of non-state actors seems to be ignored by realists because non-state actors have limited powers, especially in military capacity, to threaten the state actors. So in this case, non-state actors will still rely on their own states for their survival in anarchic international system. And then the second is survival. So realists believe that survival is the main goals of any states in international arena. So they believe states live in a system where there is no hierarchically superior and coercive power to settle dispute and enforce the law. There is no higher authority for the states to rely on if they are in trouble. So, in this case, realists assume that only power can help states to survive in the international system like anarchy. So it means the state should gain power as much as they can, because if the state is powerful, no one can hurt them. Otherwise, if the states don't have enough power, it means the state is weak and vulnerable. So it will be easy for other states to take advantages from them. So, based on these conditions, realists argue that the states will do everything they can in order to be as powerful as possible for ensuring their survival in anarchic international system. And then the third is self-help. So the absence of authority causes unstable conditions and the lack of order in international system. So due to these conditions, states only can depend on themselves and be responsible for their security to secure themselves and their interests as well. This is what we call as self-help. And then there are two divisions of realisms emerged within international relations. Those are classical realism and structural realism. So, classical realisms. Classical realisms carries out a pessimistic view of human nature and argues that basically human isn't that kind. because actually humans are aggressive and act out of fears or aggressions. This theory is associated with thinkers such as Thomas Hobbes and Hans Morgenthau. So according to Hans Morgenthau works, he argues that states pursue power and security at the expense of one another, followed by Thomas Hobbes, who argues that humans are aggressive and greedy entities unless they are controlled by some form of dominant ruler or governments. Hobbes also had arguments that society without hegemony is naturally unstable because its individual is capable of killing other individuals. So, in this case, human realists agree that human natures is the most important things to understand the persistence of war or conflicts. So at the end, realists conclude that war is natural product of flawed human natures which operates in ungoverned, so therefore that's insecure international environment. And then structural realism. So not much difference with classical realism. Structural realism will also explain about the persistence of war. However, it is focused on systemic rather than individual causes. It means if in classical realism, the causes of war is human nature, those in structural realism, the causes of war is the anarchic structure of international system itself. So this theory is associated with thinkers such as Kenneth Waltz. So Waltz emphasized that the states are victims of security dilemma. So what is security dilemma? So security dilemma is a situation when the action taken by states to increase security for ensuring their survival will threaten the security of neighboring states. So according to self-help concept, Waltz assumed that the only rational action that for states in anarchic international system is to maintain sufficient military and political power to defend themselves from aggressions. So the states may invest in armies, navies, or weapons, or maybe making alliance with other states. However, these actions of self-defense will look like threatening the surrounding states because there is a suspicion from one another. So the other states will forced to do the same. So they will do their own self-help strategic, which is more or less same. So this can be increasing military capacity or maybe making an alliance with other states. So that's all the material about realism that I can deliver. So thank you.